the walk, you'll see how I'm holding the leash. I have the extra leash in this hand. I have a leash here, and I have a loop in the leash because I want him to feel no pressure whatsoever, just like you probably remember on those videos from dogs playing for life. So he's feeling no pressure whatsoever, and hopefully he won't feel any pressure. But if he starts to forage ahead or lag behind, he will feel a little pressure, and in fact I'll probably do an attention turn to the left or possibly to the right, depending on what's going on. So let's take a walk. While you're walking behind us. Okay, I'm going to have him sit right here. See if he's faster on the automatic sit. Sit. Not yet. Sit. Yes. Good boy. So he's clearly not a puller. More of a lagger. I think he'll get more excited when we get into the woods. Yep. I don't think he's going to do any behavior that needs a correction. I mean, he's just so easy. But here, check this out. There we go. All I did was I kept my hands at my hips. Sit. Yes, and he offered a sit without any effort on the leash at all, so that we can have a conversation right now. So he was going ahead of me a little bit. He got interested. I just made a quick turn to the left, kept my hands at my hips, so he felt a small tug. He came right around, no big deal. He's like, oh yeah, that's right. We'll see if we can get one more attention correction. This is not a high energy dog, at least not while he's on drugs, so he's pretty mellow when it comes to corrections. Let's see what else we can do. Come on, let's go. Yes. Yes. Yes, automatic sit. A little slow on the turn, but he did turn. The minute he turned his head as I turned, I said yes to mark that behavior. The behavior we're marking is him turning his head to follow me as I turned around. Now that he's on an automatic sit, I'm just giving him a little treat to remind him that there's so many positive things about sitting right here next to me. Something I was going to say and I forgot. Shoot, what's it? Oh well, I'll think of it. Heel. Yeah. Good. I remember now. Yes. Good boy. Yeah. Sit. So you might wonder, how do you know if this dog is happy and content right now? Because he's super chill. And you probably know this already, but if you don't, just check out his tail. He's got his tail in that neutral position, which means he's just chill. He's just happy and relaxed. And when he turned and sat and I gave him a treat, he wagged his tail. So all is good in his world. His tail is at the perfect position for a calm dog that's having a good time. Yep. Oh, good boy. Remember they said to reward every time he checks in. He just checked in. So I'm giving him a treat. Also, sit. Sit. Yes. Good boy. I think that it's important to note that I don't talk a whole lot to him when we're walking. He hears so much sound in his kennel all the time. I think it's nice to just give him a place for him to be quiet and to just think his own thoughts, unless he looks nervous or something, and then I'll give him a few words of encouragement. But as humans, we tend to give too many words that they don't really need to hear. They mostly just are paying attention to our bodies and our energy, and it's all chill, so we don't need to be talking nonstop to him. That'll just confuse him.
Good boy. Okay, we'll see. What I want to try to click and treat for is him being belly up. So let's see if he does that in a few minutes. If we just hang out with him for a while. One of his two eyes looks a little red to me. I'd like to see if we can get something in there. A little bit of some kind of antibiotic. Okay. Okay. We'll go down like you did before. He's wondering what it's going to take. He's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. Watch. As soon as he gets over, I'm clicking and treating. So that's capturing a behavior. I betcha about 5 more times of that, and he'll start offering it as a behavior for a treat. Let's see what he does. It's best if you can treat them in the position you're trying to capture. Yeah. And now you can see he's looking at me. He's expecting it. So it took all of 3 times for him to realize that this was a rewardable behavior and to offer it. This is a really smart dog. When you laugh at their antics, that's also rewarding to them. They know that they've made you happy, and most dogs love to make people happy. You're so goofy. It also reminds him that this is all fun. All right, I'm going to see if he goes back into it by himself now. The thing about capturing or shaping your behavior is you don't give any commands. In fact, the more quiet you are, the better. Let the dog work it out. So I'm going to be quiet now. I'll talk while we're doing this because he seems like he's a little nervous with all the quietness. But the thing that a dog in a shelter needs most is to use their brain, not necessarily their body. And so by just waiting for him to offer a behavior that he's been clicked for, he has to think it through. He's going to get bored. He's going to be like, what is it that I can do to earn a treat? And he'll probably experiment with some behaviors, and that's what I'm waiting to see. That's when he's really thinking hard. You might see a little bit of nervousness or anxiety when that happens. He might yawn, he might whine a little bit as he's trying to figure out what it is that's going to earn him his next treat. But I guarantee you he will go back to experimenting with something that worked before because he's a smart boy. It's just going to take a little while. And there he goes. Bingo. Because he's super smart. And he's got the best ears. Good boy. So that's an example of capturing a behavior. And you can see how quickly it goes from capturing a behavior to part of his repertoire. Now that he's doing it, the way that you would put this on cue is you would wait until he does it when you're sure he's going to do it, and then you would give your command. You would say belly up or paws up or whatever you want to say. I'm not going to put a word to it because at a shelter everybody would have a different word. In fact, you'll notice I've never used his name. He doesn't even probably know his name. Because, I mean, he probably got the name as soon as he got here, and he'll get a different name when he leaves. So that's not the important part of this. What I want you to see is how quickly he went from doing a behavior that just felt good to him to doing it as part of a reward. And that he's actually thinking hard about this. Watch him look at me. He'll look to see if I knew that he was doing it. Watch again. When he does it, he'll do it, and then he'll look at me. Yes, he will, because he knows that that's the behavior that we're talking about right now. Speaking of looking, I know that the video that we all watched by Dogs Playing for Life talked about rewarding eye contact. He has so much eye contact. But one of the things that we could do, and I know they said don't put a cue on looking, just reward them when they do. So I'm gonna try some of that. Here. I'm gonna see if he'll just look at me, and then I'll click and give him a treat. Eventually he'll get frustrated and he'll look at me for direction, to know what to do. He'll be confused. Might take a while. Yes! Did you see that? He looked up at me for direction. Watch, we'll do it again. Yes, and that was 2 times. 3 times and he'll have this. See that? It gets shorter every time. Now, oh man, that was really good. A little paw on there plus the eye contact. Yes, that's how fast it happens. Now he's giving eye contact, no command. He's just learned from the clicker that if he leaves it alone and looks at me, he gets what he wants. Especially with a little, please mom, with a little tap. If I put it over there, watch him look at me. Yep. I put it over here, watch him look at me. Yes. You see all that eye contact? And that's it. I mean, I'm not quite sure. I've already, so now I could put a cue on that if I wanted to. I could say look or leave it or whatever. We've already done the belly up. He already knows so many things. The only thing I could think of to capture that might be a natural behavior would be a bow. If he was stretching, I could capture that with a clicker. I think we'll continue to work on the toy though. I'd really love to see him get a good solid, see that would be cute with the bow. I'd love to see him get a solid toy retrieve. That would make it a lot more interactive for people to play with him. So that's a little bit of the clicker training and the getting him to use his noggin. Now we're going to go outside and we'll talk about healing. So at first I was worried about him. Go ahead and have a seat, Tim. You're a potential adopter. You've never met him before. At first I was worried about how he would interact with strangers that might adopt him. Don't let him do that, just ignore him. Don't push him, just ignore him. Clearly he loves men. I really believe he was a man's dog and he was trained by a man who might have been a bit strict with him, and that's why he seems a little bit, submissive. But he's never met you before, and clearly he's ready to go home with you. So highly adoptable, ready to go, in my opinion. I don't have to do really anything like with some of the other dogs we've had where there has to be a real careful introduction. He's ready to go. Another behavior. You might want to get this one too. Yes. So when he just offered this behavior, this dog offers more behaviors than I've ever seen. He's so aware of his body, and he really knows how to use it. He's so cute. He really knows how to use it for earning treats. So he's trying different parts. He's trying different moves to see if maybe it'll earn him a treat. Wow. I mean, this is the second time he's done it, and he's already offering it again. So I would call this, well, we used to call it chill with my dog, but stretching out like that, it's adorable when dogs do it, and they can do that on command as well. So if you ever see him do that, click a treat, he'll offer that behavior more. And if you know how to use a clicker, the timing is everything. It gives him a lot of confidence to use the clicker. So we're working on toys. He doesn't seem to know how to fetch and to drop yet. I've heard that he was toy aggressive a little bit, or toy guarding, but I haven't seen that. But let me show you what we're working on. I'm going to own this toy by throwing it and clicking when he touches it. And then tossing a toy or a treat. And then we're going to get to the point where I click when he takes it out of my hand, like this. Take it. Yes. So he gets used to having my hand on it at the same time. Take it. Yes. I really don't need the clicker. I can just say yes. That's what a lot of people do naturally anyway. So, take it. So he's getting used to having it in his mouth with my hand on it. Yes. I'm not trying to compete with him over it, but when he sees the treat, he naturally drops it. Take it. Yes. If I don't want to pick it up right underneath him, that, I don't want to compete, so I'm going to give him a different toy. Take it. Yes. All we're doing is getting him used to playing with toys around us. And never directly competing with him over the toy. Here, take it. Yes. Get it. And then tossing a treat so that we're not competing. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can hold on to the treat and while he's holding on to it. Take it. Give. Easy. Yes. He has a giant mouth. He could have bit me, but he didn't. He just wants the treat. But again, I'm not going to pick the toy up and compete with him. I'm going to give it to him and hold on to it. Here. Take it. Give. Yes. Did you see how he gave it back? Very, very nice. Take it. Give. Yes. So now I'm clicking for the give, not for the take. I was clicking for the take. Now I'm clicking for the give. Take it. Give. Give. Yes. Sometimes I click before he gives. He gets it. Take it. Oh, take it. Now he doesn't want to take it anymore. Take it. Good. Give. Good boy. Good boy. Ready? Go get it. I'm hoping to get him to the point where he'll return it to me so we can actually play together. I don't think he understands fetch yet. Let's try this one. Ready? Take it. Good. Give. Good boy. So I don't think he's toy possessive. I think he just hasn't learned how to play with people with toys yet. Here. Take it. Yes. Give. Yes. Good boy. Now what you can do is not use the clicker if you're afraid to do all that at once, and just have a piece of food, and when you say give, you put the food right over his nose. Take it. Give. Yes. And he's so gentle with treats. Take it. Give. Yes. Good boy. So if we keep working on this, my feeling is eventually he'll get to the point where he knows how to play with toys. I can throw them, he'll bring them back and give. Give is what I'm using to not compete with him. So that's toy play. I don't want him to chew that toy up, so I'm just going to say, here, good boy, go get it. And then when his back is turned, take that toy away. He's got all of his basic skills down perfectly, so sit. Good boy. Down. Yes. Stay. Stay. Yes. Stay. When I give him a reward for staying, I give it to him right where he is. Stay. So he doesn't get up. Okay, come here. So clearly he's been well trained. He knows all of his basic commands, and you'll see that when he's walking, he knows how to heel as well. So there's really not much else to him. If you just let him relax for a while, he'll cuddle and let you pet his belly and stuff. Now I know he's on drugs right now, so that might influence things. And I also know that he's scared. I don't know how he was treated before, but he really loves, I think he has to go outside. You want to go outside? He really loves positive training methods. He doesn't really need anything, punishment-wise at all. He's that good.
So now we're going to take him back. Again, out the back, not the front. And all I'm going to do is throw some food on the ground so I can take his leash off without any drama. That's it. We're going to transition by starting over here. This was Kim's idea. I think it's brilliant. And now we're going to go to his kennel. Some people said that when he hears the word leash, he gets upset, but I don't think he understands what leash means. I think it might be that the metal leash triggers him. It might trigger him because he's had difficulty with that metal leash and with people handling him. So, here's the deal. Go ahead and stop it for now. So I don't have any special relationship with him. I just have known him for about a week or so. So I don't have any special emotional attachment to him. I think he's a great dog, but I think all dogs are great. I haven't seen what some of the other staff and volunteers have seen, some of that behavior. But if you'll show it to me, maybe one-on-one, we can work on it. Or if you can explain exactly the situation, maybe we can figure out what happened. Because I don't doubt that he, has been unpleasant to some folks. I just haven't seen it myself, so it's hard for me to speak to it. But hopefully I can help out. Feel free to reach me anytime. I'm happy to work with you and figure things out to get this boy home. Thanks.